Hello, everyone. Um, Today we're going to talk about, is it really love or low self esteem? Nature versus nurture. Childhood wounds. What did love look like to you as a child? Due to your primary relationship role models, mostly mom and dad, but also extended family, during the years of child development between birth and about 17 years, complex cognitive and social behaviors learned during this time period plays a significant part in the relationship that you have with yourself and subsequently how you are present in your adult relationships. With these role models, unfavorable experiences, or poor environmental stimulation, your mental and emotional development will suffer. The concept of the critical period also suggests that sometimes the damage done because of unfavorable experiences may be irreversible, like in cluster B personality types, narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, sociopaths, psychopaths, etc. Genetics may also play a part, a predisposition to developing such personalities in combination with a poor environment. Either of these situations makes one more than likely to develop some type of unhealthy mental and emotional state of being and an impaired ability to relate to others or the self in a healthy way. Now, this immediate environment or family life, along with the Disney princess syndrome and other types of conditioning from movies and books and the like, most people find themselves in dysfunctional relationships and or seeking a love that's like a fairy tale. One that no matter what is happening in the relationship, love will make everything okay. Waiting for the knight in shining armor to come rescue you out of the tower, put you on his horse, and the two of you live happily ever after as you ride off into the sunset. This is an ideal fantasy, much like thinking that if you unconditionally love the beast, he or she will eventually turn into a prince or princess, endlessly giving in hopes to receive, or on the other side of things, endlessly taking with no intentions of giving. Remember, you can give someone the world, and in the end, they won't have a place for you in it. Most are wanting or feeling like they need another person to fulfill their dreams or validate their worth. They look for love outside of themselves to fill something that is empty within. In order to feel whole or complete, some feel they need to be in a relationship and often settling for less than what they deserve. But what they feel they deserve depends a lot on how they value themselves and what conditions played a part in that belief system. What did love look like to me as a child? Relationships are about how people relate to themselves and each other, how they show they're caring. In healthy relationships, partners learn to accept and love each other for who they really are. You know, the little pet peeves, quirky habits, or some other endearing eccentricities. Someone's poor dancing or singing voice that still brings on a smile and a feeling of joy in the heart. Or the onset of grays, the lines of time that form in the face and body, losing some hair, gaining a few pounds, or any other normal signs of aging. What's most important is how partners treat each other. This speaks volumes because love is a consistent action. Love is more than just a feeling or mere words being spoken. Love needs to be expressed in a healthy way for it to truly be love. It is shown with effort, action, and consistency. I say this because I don't put much stock into words, as words are illusions and some people are master magicians. I don't put much stock into actions either, as some are great actors initially, but fail in the long term. What I do put stock in is consistency, as I believe in patterns of behavior, and it's with consistency that you will see if they truly walk the talk over time. How do you know if you or your partner's view of love is askew? You perform an analysis, as we attract that which we resonate with energetically and karmically. First, you both inquire within. What did love look like to you as a child? Did either of you experience abuse, neglect, or feeling abandoned? Did you grow up in a dysfunctional environment with a cluster B type or codependent? Was bad behavior, disrespect, abuse, alcoholism, drug use, etc. allowed or enabled by any of the primary caregivers, as this perpetuates codependency, a pacifying of the beast instead of standing up to it? As in truth, these are things that should be unacceptable, as they are no doubt having a negative impact on others. Were both parents present and positive, active participants in your life? Are you really looking for your father's or your mother's love in the partners that you choose without realizing that's what you're doing? Because on a subconscious level, if you experience any of what I have mentioned, then more than likely your view of love is askew. You also more than likely have low self-esteem as a result of your conditioning, and the self-esteem of the caregivers also being questionable due to what was transpiring. A generational curse of sorts, if you will. This needs to be transcended. Of course, we also take into account societal conditioning and peer relationships, which also play on one's self-worth. So again, the first reality check to see if you are capable of having or are currently in a healthy relationship begins with self-reflection and the reflection of your partner's upbringing. This brings both of you to your relationship with yourselves and how you are both present in your relationship, how you treat each other. Do you love yourself? Do they love themselves? Because you cannot truly love someone else unless you love yourself first. Do you have a healthy self-esteem? A good character that consists of integrity, honesty, courage, loyalty, fortitude, and other important virtues that promote good behavior and habits, values and standards. Do you also hold others in your life to these healthy higher standards, or do you enter into dysfunctional relationships that keep open the childhood wound because it's all that you have known on a subconscious level, because you haven't realized the impact that your upbringing and relationship role models have played in how you feel about yourself and how you are present in relationships? You get what you allow, just as you attract that which you believe you deserve based on conditioning. We imitate what we see. Love, honor, and cherish a partner who loves, honors, and cherishes you. Pay attention to how love is expressed in your relationships, how you give it, and how you receive it. And speaking of giving, let's go to the giver. You know, the one who is too open in giving because they didn't get the proper nurturing as a child, so they seek their worth and validation from others or the object of their affections. You know, the clinger, the doormat, the chaser, the too nice and forgiving one, the one who has no boundary that they won't let another trespass against because they love them, using this as a reason to enable or condone another's mistreatment because they are obviously not loving themselves. If you are loving someone else more than you love you, then there's a problem. Being a martyr for love is not required in a genuine give and take relationship. The giver is also one who tolerates disrespect, lying, cheating, abuse, be it emotional, mental, verbal, financial, or physical, because they lack self-love, respect, and self-esteem, so they will allow others to treat them poorly. If they don't win this person's love, it feeds into the wound. Their world falls apart and they will beat themselves up with negative self-talk, self-abuse, as again, it's what they are familiar with. They fear being disliked, unloved, abandoned, being alone, so they people please. The I will love you unconditionally type, but not really understanding what that terminology means. Unconditional love means I love you no matter what happens under any condition life throws at us, not no matter what you do to me or if you repeatedly hurt me. The phrase unconditional love is quite misunderstood. People often will use it as an excuse to stay in bad relationships or to guilt trip someone into staying in one. They'll use it for some ideal they chase without even comprehending what it really means. When you love someone unconditionally, it's saying that no matter what life challenges may come, my love for you will last through those conditions, as in for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, or any other unexpected challenges that life, again, may throw at us, because we are both committed to each other and we both show a healthy, reciprocal love for each other that can weather the storms of life. If someone knows that you will love them no matter what they do, if love has no conditions, boundaries, or limits, why would they ever try to do the right thing by you? The giving of your love should have conditions or standards, and you should not compromise your worth, your values, your integrity, and the like to keep someone in your life that is having you do that to begin with. They should meet your standards, if not exceed them, if you are really choosing a partner that is good for you. Now let's go to the taker. The one who has built up walls around their heart because they didn't get proper nurturing as a child, so they use another's love for them or any attention they can get from anyone they can get it from to validate their worth, though they don't reciprocate the affections or efforts. They are the one who disrespects others, lacks empathy, lies, cheats, abuses, be it emotional, mental, verbal, financial, or physical, because they lack self-love, respect, and self-esteem. So they will treat others as means to an end, void fillers, ego strokers. They also fear being disliked, unloved, abandoned, being alone, so they use others to fulfill a need and will often wear masks, pretending to be something that they aren't, exaggerating their accomplishments or make up stories to impress others. They often lead double lives as they are constantly needing validation from various sources. They welcome the "I will love you unconditionally" type because they feed on that person's obvious insecurities to pacify their own. This is why two broken halves don't make a whole. There is no boundary that they will not trespass against and will always push the limits to see how far they can go. How much this person is willing to take. How much can I get out of them before the jig is up and I have to find a new source to get my needs met? These people have deep wounding and have a great difficulty in changing, in being able to give as much as they take, to take other people's feelings into account, and to realize that their words and actions don't just affect them. If this is a full-blown cluster B type, then unfortunately the likelihood of change is 0. You see, they need to learn to consider another and not just think of themselves, to know that relationships are about equal give and take. It's 50-50. This goes for the giver as well. The world doesn't revolve around them, though they seek those that would put them in that place. The taker does, at the center of attention. If they don't have it, their world falls apart and they will beat themselves up with negative self-talk, self-abuse, as again, it's what they are familiar with. This is why a narcissistic type, who is also a codependent, and a codependent type is drawn to one another. Karmically, this relationship duo is meant to teach each other significant lessons about themselves that need to be healed and transcended. If they can both get the lesson, then their fate will be determined from that. Love is both partners striving to be their very best, to be whole within themselves first, so they complement each other and are not codependent on each other to validate the other's worth or fill a void within due to some childhood wounding. You can pour everything you have into someone and they will still be empty. If we are mentally and emotionally healthy within ourselves, we set boundaries for people in our lives that determines whether they should stay or go. This is called standards. Having conditions keeps love truthful, sensible, obtainable, and if you are lucky, long-lasting. Love is when both people commit to each other and give and receive love from a healthy place, not one jumping through hoops trying to prove they are worthy, and not one constantly taking without giving and treating others as a means to an end, both looking to fill a void that comes from a need for self-love. So again, to know if a person truly loves you, number one, how do they value and love themselves and others? What is their family relationship history or past relationship patterns? This is to establish if they can love from a healthy, genuine place. Number two, how does this person make you feel? Do they make you feel loved, valued, respected, appreciated? Number three, how do they treat you? Are they abusive? Be it emotional manipulation, using your love to meet their needs but not reciprocating. Mental abuse, lies, gaslighting, and crazy making. Verbal abuse, says hurtful things or gives the silent treatment. Financial abuse, isn't an equal contributor or uses you for money or to take care of them, also known as the hobosexual, one who enters into relationships to keep from being homeless, but never invested in their growth or has a desire to change. One who makes constant excuses and looks for enablers by using emotional manipulation. Or physical abuse actually hits you. Number four, do they hold themselves accountable for their actions and show genuine empathy for your feelings and remorse if they have hurt you? Do they try to make amends and show you with consistency that they are making an effort to change things for the better? And number five, if you are clinging on for a second chance ask yourself again, how did they treat you in the relationship? How did they leave you? And how did they treat you after it ended? How many scars do you justify because you love the person holding the knife? Why do you cling on to someone who has let go of you, sometimes more than once? How many times will you use others to meet your needs because you are operating from a place of self-serving agendas? Because in either case, that is coming from a place of fear. It is not love. It's low self-esteem. If someone truly loves you, you won't have to question it. You wouldn't have to wonder. You will know because they are there, working on the relationship, treating you with love and respect because they have it for themselves. When you love and respect yourself, you will not make excuses for someone's constant bad behavior or settle for less than what you deserve because you know that you deserve better. You will then naturally send out the vibration that will attract to you those who know you deserve better as well and are more than happy to treat you that way. Don't romanticize people that continuously hurt you or keep clinging to the idea of who you thought someone was or who they were in the beginning. Look at how they treated you during the entire relationship, how they left you, and how they've treated you since it ended. And never, never lose sleep over someone who's in bed with someone else. So again, what did love look like to you as a child? And how is that affecting you in your view of yourself and in your presence in relationships? What do you allow? How you treat others? Everything that I just said. And a lot of times, as I mentioned, people cling and hold on and keep wanting to be with someone, or again, keep trying to prove their worthiness, trying to get this person to choose me. When if they took the rose-colored glasses off and asked themselves these questions that I just said, they will ask themselves, why am I even looking for this person's love? Why am I even hanging around? Why am I clinging to somebody who constantly lets go of me or who treats me this way? That means that there's something that's in you that is broken. And there's something obviously in them that is broken too. And as I said, two broken halves don't make a whole. So one has to heal thyself before you can ever have any kind of real healthy relationship. Because again, if you don't think much of yourself, you're going to involve yourself with people that don't think much of you either. Or if you're somebody who's afraid of love, you're going to keep entering into codependent situations just to have needs met, and there's no emotional connection there whatsoever because it's safe for you that way. If you're not emotionally invested, then you can't really get hurt. So again, it comes from reflecting on oneself. And also, being a little bit more wary of the people that you entertain. Again, they should be like you have the Carfax where you can check to see the history of a car, if it's been in any accidents or whatever. It would be nice if you can do that with people, right? Get like a relationship history to see if they have any patterns of abuse or mistreating, because like I said, you got to be very wary of people that are smooth talkers, because most of the time when you first meet someone, you don't meet the real them, you meet their representative. People put always their best like they're going for a job interview. It's only after you've been involved with them for a while then all of a sudden you start to notice things that were hidden before, behaviors and so forth. It takes a while to really get to know someone. So that's why you should always take things slow. Watch out for narcissists, because they will love bomb you and lay it on thick and pretend you're their soulmate, and they'll do whatever it takes to get you hooked. And then after a couple of months, the mask will fall off and you'll find yourself in a cycle of abuse. And unless you are aware of what that looks like, you might be thinking, this person's my soulmate or this person's my twin flame and I got to hold on to them, without realizing that you're being snowed So, if I can recommend anything for those that have found themselves in relationships that are questionable or that involved some of the things that I have mentioned, I recommend you look up narcissistic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder and see if the person that you're involved with kind of fits the bill, or go into forums that other people that have been involved with these personality types and see if whatever they're saying sounds like your situation. And that will open your eyes, painfully so, to the awareness of the reality of what that relationship is, and that possibly you were someone that was just used, abused, and duped, so that you can heal and move forward. And also, again, recognizing those things within yourself that thought that that behavior was okay, that allowed that. Because again, it takes two to tango. So you can't just always point the finger at one person. We have to always look at our own roles and what we allow and what we accept. And why do we do that? What did love look like to you as a child? So, again, reflect, research, look into some of the things that I mentioned, because you might be clinging on to somebody again that you think is your soulmate or your twin flame, and it was really just a narcissist, someone that was there to teach you a karmic lesson, and you need to let go and move on. But as I mentioned, karma, sometimes, the twin flame can embody these narcissistic traits because the wounding is that deep. Obviously, narcissists, they develop that because they have deep wounding as well. But, that's a personality disorder that no matter how much you try to love that person, that will never change. That is, unfortunately, they will have that for all of their days. And you make yourself crazy trying to keep hoping for the best, because the best will never come. But, again, the twin flame or the karmic relationship, sometimes that isn't a full-blown personality disorder. Sometimes that just stems from deep wounding. But again, it takes the commitment of that person to want to do the self-reflecting, to possibly go into therapy, to work on themselves. You will tell the difference between the two probably by the way that that person reacts to the information and how much they're willing to listen to that or look into that or go to therapy or put in the effort. Most narcissists, they don't think anything's wrong with them, so they never go to therapy, and therapy doesn't work anyway because, again, that they operate on a whole different level. So, educate yourselves on yourself, and again, on the partners that you are involved with. And I wish you love, I wish you light, I wish you healing, and I wish you luck. In regards to anything that I just discussed that might be playing a part in your life, and I hope that you heal it and transcend it and move on to healthier, better, more fulfilling relationships in your life, and that you have a healthy, better, more fulfilling relationship with yourself, again, first and foremost. And until the next time, my lovelies, take care. Bye-bye.